But it wasn't going to be England. Right. Enough of
Anyway,
that. As you've just gone live.
Glenn was voicing his displeasure about something, which we'll talk about on Monday. But yeah, so we're gonna go to war. Glenn, are you ready to go to war?
We are certain. I'm very ready to go to war.
Are you?
I'm very, very ready to talk about wrestling. Yes. Good, bad, and indifferent.
I got some hydration here. I'm gonna need it for when I start tapping into the whiskey later. So also we got a pretty big. We're not gonna really discuss soccer here. We kind of got a good match coming up later today at 1:00. Central time. We got Argentina versus Mexico, so that should be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not currently watching the game that's happening right now, so don't tell me the score. I'm going to watch it later.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. And anyway, like I said, we're not here to talk about soccer or football or whatever you want to call it.
Softball.
Softball. Yes, me and Glenn, before the show started, we conversed and we decided that we're going to from now on call it softball. I like it. Softball's the way to go.
It certainly is.
It certainly is. So, Glenn, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the premium live event this evening?
9.5.
Pretty fucking high, Glenn. That's pretty fucking high.
It is. SmackDown didn't do a lot to increase my excitement for it, but yeah, I'm quite excited for this. Let's see what happens with it.
Yeah, me too. I would say I'm about the same excited level as you, about a 9.5. Just because it looks like a fun card. There should be some good matches on here, and the War Games thing is always a spectacle. And for the old wrestling fans like you and I who remember War Games of yesteryear, we're gonna be excited about this one. So, another thing I wanted to say about remember in the War Games in NXT, they always would make that stupid rule where if you left the cage, your team was disqualified or some shit like that, like you automatically lost if someone.
Yeah.
And they've kind of dropped that, which is good.
Thank
I mean,
God.
you don't have to say you can't leave the cage without people not leaving the cage. You know what I mean? They could just not leave the cage, and you could not make that.
Well, the idea is you're supposed to be locked in. You shouldn't be able to leave the cage anyway.
Fair. That's why they used to put a roof on the motherfucker.
Exactly. It's not as though you can. The idea of War Games is you can't escape. You just have to beat your opponents into a bloody heap.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like I always thought that was the way of all steel cage matches, where no one was supposed to escape, but then somehow we've made it where you win by escaping, and I'm like, no, that's it's a cage match. You're supposed to be contained inside the cage. That's the point of the cage match. But we're just old men yelling at clouds, aren't we, Glenn?
But I seem to remember back in the day even that they used to have that stipulation that one of the ways you could get out is by climbing over the top of the cage and your feet touching the ground. And
yeah, no, it's been like that in WWF since like the 80s. I remember Hulk Hogan versus the Big Boss Man on Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, as you would.
Yeah, I mean, and I was raised on if you can win by escaping the cage, but I still today, even though I was raised on it, think that's stupid because it's a cage match, and the point is that you're supposed to stay inside the goddamn cage.
That's right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's two reasons for a cage. Is one to keep the combatants in, and the other is to keep outside interference out.
Right.
But if you could climb in and out the cage, then you're not doing either.
Yeah, you've thrown both of those out the window. That was like when you remember when Shane McMahon was facing Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 37, I think it was, in the cage match.
Yes.
And the whole build up to this thing was, when we wrestle inside that cage, Shane McMahon, nobody would be able to get in. And I'm like, have you ever seen a cage match, motherfucker?
Yeah.
People get in all the time.
The best one was Kane ripping the door of the cage off.
We'll see. Well, that's different. If you get somebody out there ripping the cage door off, then I mean, what can you do about that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, Glenn, it's a short card. There is only 5 matches, but after we pick these 5 matches, we are going to have a look at the worst War Games match in the history of anything called War Games. It is a whole bunch of motherfuckers and Vince Russo in some sort of triple cage, and it's called War Games 2000, and it's going to be a mess, and we're going to watch it after this. So I've never actually watched this before. Have you seen it?
Yes.
I've never seen
Sadly,
it.
I have.
So it's that good, huh? Is that what you told me?
Yeah. Well, put it this way. The whole time I watched it the first time was hoping that Vince Russo came to some harm.
That makes sense. We're going to watch it this time, and I'm going to hope that Vince Russo came to some harm. So, all right. Well, without further ado, Glenn, here we go. We're going to do it. The first match is Seth freaking Rollins defending his United States Championship against Bobby Lashley and Austin Theory. For reference, the mayor of Canton has phoned in his picks. He is very busy with his constituents this afternoon, and so he has picked Austin Theory to win the United States Championship. Glenn, I'm going to allow you. Oh, Glenn's got to find his notebook. We're going to let Glenn find his notebook. And then
I've lost my pen as much as a notebook. I see the notebook.
Oh. Well, Glenn, what you're going to have to do if you can't find your pen is prick one of your fingers and do it in blood. It's the only way. Because if you're ready to go to war,
I've already given blood once this week. I don't want to do it again. Oh well.
That's all right. That's okay.
I'll just have to let's make a note on my phone as we go.
There we go. I believe in you, Glenn.
Because I've got the mayor's down. So if I write yours, I know what mine is.
Well, at least I hope you would remember what yours are.
Yeah.
Actually, once the pay-per-views start, I have no idea who I picked most of the time. I'm like, yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
A spreadsheet.
All right. So, Glenn,
all right. So I'll go Seth Rollins.
You're taking Rollins to retain?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You got any solid reasoning behind it?
Just I think he's going to retain.
That's fucking any solid reasoning I've ever heard, Glenn. So yeah. If anybody does win it, I think it would be Theory because they feel like they're doing something with Theory here, but I just don't feel like now is the time to make that move. So I'm going to agree with you, and I think that Seth Rollins is going to retain. This should be me and you aren't really huge fans of triple threat matches, but this one should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it should be. It's had a good build up to it. So
absolutely. I mean, Austin Theory is more, what's the word I'm looking for? He's more entertaining now than he's ever been for me.
Oh yeah, it's this heel character. Over the last couple of weeks, he's been really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Everybody thought he was dead and buried after that fucking Money in the Bank thing, but I think that's the best thing that's happened to him. So the next one is a bit of a surprise match. We've got Ronda Rousey taking on Shotzi Blackheart. I'm sorry, it's just Shotzi. She has not got her Blackheart back like everyone else has. I believe the mayor absolutely had to have picked Ronda Rousey, right? I don't remember, but he had to have picked Ronda. Yeah,
it was Ronda.
I know he hates Ronda, but he would not pick her. Or I don't think he would pick Ronda to lose to Shotzi. Yeah, I mean, obviously Ronda Rousey's going to win. I can't see any scenario where Shotzi Blackheart gets the victory here. Glenn, tell me why Shotzi Blackheart's going to win.
No reason whatsoever. There's absolutely not a chance in hell. If it wasn't for the fact that this was only a 5-match premium live event, then I would say this would have been a squash.
I could still see it being somewhat of a squash because you figure, AJ versus Finn's going to get, 15 minutes or so. The triple threat's probably going to get 15. The 2 War Games matches will get well over 45 minutes, I'm sure. So it could very well. I don't see this match going any more than 5 minutes.
No.
Do you think they're building to somewhere? Obviously, Shayna Baszler's with Rousey now. Do you think they'll build somehow to a feud between those two, or do you think they'll stick together for a while?
I think they'll stick together for a while.
Yeah, me too. Well, I wouldn't mind seeing them in a feud. It is nice for them to kind of second each other. I guess they work together. So, all right. So AJ Styles with the OCE will be taking on Finn Balor. Glenn, I want to ask you: did you know that both these guys used to be the leaders of the Bullet Club?
Yes. They actually mentioned it for the first time ever a few weeks ago.
They did. They actually said the Bullet Club. They didn't say the club or all that other
No,
shit.
no. They referenced New Japan and they referenced Bullet Club.
I imagine that this match is going to have a whole bunch of fucking shenanigans with some outside interference.
Of course it is.
The mayor of Canton himself picked Finn Balor. Glenn, you sticking with the mayor's pick, or you going the other way?
No, I'm going the other way. Because why bring Mia Yim in at this stage to deal with Rhea when all the shenanigans have been with Rhea costing the OC all the matches?
Yeah.
To have the OC lose again.
Yeah, because they lost that. They did lose that crown jewel, right?
Yep.
Okay. This one is kind of one for me that could go either way. We've disagreed on all the matches so far except for the Ronda one. So,
who did you go with on the Seth?
Oh, I took Seth to retain.
You took Seth. So we've both gone for Seth and Ronda so far.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with what the mayor said then, and I'm gonna pick Finn Balor just for the sake of being different. I'm not really even sure who's gonna win this match. Like you said, I think it's probably better that AJ wins it. It would help the OC more since they've pretty much lost every match that they've had against Judgment Day at this point.
Yeah.
So, God damn it. I'm doing that thing where I'm the mayor and I'm trying to talk myself out of my pick. That's what I'm doing right here. But I said Finn Balor, so I'll just stick with Finn Balor. All right. And now it's time for war. We've got kudos to the mayor for coming up with this name. I did not come up with this. The mayor said it, but I'm going to use it. Team Fresh Friends of Bel Air against Damage Control with Nikki Cross and Rhea Ripley. It's, of course, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch, who returned last night to Glenn. Some crazy guy told you that he thought it was going to be Becky Lynch, didn't he? Who's that? Was that me?
That might have been you.
Okay, I just want to put myself over. I'm just kidding. All right. Who the mayor picked? Team Fresh Friends of Bel Air, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm going as well.
You taking that too?
Yeah.
I feel
again. Why would they give Becky a loss on her first match back?
That's a good point. I kind of feel like, in the words of Glenn Abbott, there may be some skullduggery afoot.
Oh, of course there should go. Of course there's going to be
some skullduggery, but I'm not sure who that skullduggery is coming from because I felt like there were little hints that Alexa Bliss kind of wasn't with this. Because there were times like on Raw, they were all out there together, and like Mia Yim and Asuka are kind of like together, and Alexa Bliss is a little bit off to the side. And she kind of had this look like, I'm not sure about this.
And there's been hints as well because there's been a couple of times where the Bray Wyatt symbol has come up and they've been in an interview with the three of them. So whether something happens tonight, the lights go out or something, and I don't know. But I still think the faces are going to go over on this one.
I mean, I saw a War Games match in NXT where Dakota Kai turned on her entire team and like took out Tegan Nox, and then it was only Candice LeRae and Rhea Ripley. They won the match with only two of them. So who knows? Alexa Bliss could disappear into fucking thin air, and Team Fresh Friends of Bel Air could win this thing. Fuck, Glenn. This is a hard one.
Wasn't that Elimination Chamber? No, that wasn't War Games.
No, that was War Games. It was in NXT. It was like Rhea Ripley, Candice LeRae, and then it was supposed to be Mia Yim, but like somebody beat her up in the parking lot, and so then they made it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
And then Dakota Kai beat the crap out of Tegan Nox, and then she just left. So it was just Rhea Ripley and Candice LeRae versus like Shayna Baszler, Bianca Belair, Io Shirai, and
that's right. And then she turned on her again at Elimination Chamber as well, which she shut her head in the door. The Elimination Chamber.
Were they in the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
Oh, that one I don't remember, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't remember it though. I didn't pick, did I?
No, not yet.
I'm gonna take Team Bailey just because you guys both picked the other way. I'm gonna lose my goddamn title just trying to be different. What's wrong with me?
You haven't managed it yet.
I also feel like Team Bailey and Damage Control desperately need some kind of fucking win here. They ain't won. Besides winning the tag team titles a couple times, they ain't won shit against no Bianca team.
No, that's very true.
So I guess I'm taking Team Bailey here. They have the advantage, right? Team Bailey's got the War Games advantage.
Yep.
Unlike the next match, which somehow the next match they managed to bundle that. And now we've got the baby faces with the advantage, which you should never do in a War Games match because you're taking away the whole psychology of wrestling. But whatever. Let me ask you this before we get into the pick. Do you think that Roman and the Bloodline do something to make sure that they don't lose their advantage, though? Do you think they kind of do something heelish, like? Yeah.
Yep.
Got to.
You guys are gonna win. Yeah. Team Moose is gonna win this.
You're taking Team Moose?
Yeah, I'm taking Team Moosey.
The mayor took Team Oosey Juicy too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some skullduggery afoot in this one as well. I'm not doing it twice. I'm taking the Bloodline too. I'm not doing it twice. I'm going to take the Bloodline too. Even though I feel like if you're going to have if the Brawling Brutes win here and it's somehow Jay Uso's fault or Jimmy Uso's fault, you know what I mean? So they can throw more of that, Roman being upset with him thing to continue.
Oh, won't be a sec.
Glenn's got a phone call.
Hello.
A phone call. But yeah, like I was saying.
Yeah, can you send? You've got my number, haven't you? Can you send me your email? Because I've got the doctor's certificate. Wait, to come to you. I was going to bring it on Monday, but
he's talking about
now
doctors.
All right.
So here
it's long COVID, and I've got.
Glenn's got health problems. Everybody knows now.
yeah, I suppose so. So I've got a chest X-ray on Monday, and then I'm referring to a special clinic. So that's why he's giving me a couple of weeks off, so I can get it all done in one hit. Yeah. Yes, please. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I am. I'm nowhere near the pub. All right, then. Cheers, then. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye. That's what I get for.
That's okay.
My phone. That was my boss.
Well, I figure it was when you said I'll send you the. Usually, when you talk about sending a doctor's note, you're usually talking to a boss. So
yeah.
But anyway, if some skullduggery afoot happens, and maybe Sami Zayn or Jimmy Uso loses this thing, I could see that happening too. But since you guys all picked Team Bloodline, and I already went against my good judgment with the Team Bailey win, I'm going to take the Bloodline as well.
That's it.
That's it. Then. That is it. There's only 5 matches on this thing, so it was quick to get through. All right, Glenn. So it is the September 4th, 2000 episode of WCW Monday Nitro. I'm going to take this thing off of YouTube now. So if you're watching on YouTube, you're going to have to go watch it somewhere else.